Yeah, good evening, everyone watching. We are here at the clubhouse of the LifeMASTERsClub, Dubai, and I'm here with the founder, Vincent. I'm Sam, and I would like to ask you, Vincent, if you can tell our audience how this idea, this vision came about, please.
Yeah, actually, yes, I'll be glad to share that. I feel very much keen to share socially my passion for the spiritual quest, for truth, for fellowship, but a fellowship of in depth, and having interesting and challenging and deep and respectful exchanges. So I was looking a bit everywhere for social clubs or settings where I could have those exchanges, and I couldn't find any club that suited what I was hoping for. So I thought then maybe we should do it, because if we really want this to work in a way that we like, we better do it ourselves. And one of my main concern was that most of those spiritual gatherings are usually in the form of ashrams centered around one master, and everybody else is a seeker. And I wanted really to have a place where we recognize that everyone is a master, at least potentially. Mm-hmm. Some of us are more advanced on that journey towards mastery, and some of us are at earlier stage. But I like to keep this confidentiality, but also friendliness, that we don't have one master sitting on the throne and the others waiting for their turn to ask one question if they are lucky. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is that I recognize that all of us on a spiritual quest, there is always a moment when we face a little bit of loneliness. It's natural, and it's almost unavoidable on a spiritual quest. There are moments when you go through extreme difficulty, and also you tend to lose a lot of your relationships, because a lot of your friends are not interested to hear about spirituality. Even most of your family is not interested. Yeah. And sometimes you can even be rejected to a certain extent. So, which is fine, because that's the way it is. Especially when you understand the concept of oneness, you know that you are kind of doomed to be alone at some point. Yes. But nevertheless, in those difficult moments, I found that it would be very beneficial to genuine seekers and genuine spiritual people who are on a deep and intense quest to have a place where they can exchange with people who have been through those difficult moments. Yeah. So these were the two main reasons for this idea. And of course, since I live in Dubai, I wanted to start it here. And I was very happy when I learned that you left Nigeria to come to Dubai after your years of being an entrepreneur, a banker first, an entrepreneur. And for the past 20 years, I believe, you've been a pastor as well. Yes. So I thought you were the ideal candidate for this club. And as a friend of mine, I asked you to join. And maybe, by the way, you can share with the audience why you accepted to join this adventure.
Definitely. Yes, I would like to share this genuinely with anyone watching, that the idea resonated with me clearly when you mentioned it. The purpose and the needs out there for those who might be missing that kind of fellowship, especially knowing fully well that it's a lonely road when you are seeking the meaning of life itself first. When you have even found it, that's when it even becomes very lonely, because very few people around you will understand you. And the moment you mentioned this, I know very well that those who are in that situation right now are looking for the meaning of their spirituality, those who have experienced the epiphany but are now struggling with keeping the faith, keeping in that journey, in that space, without agreeing with those who are saying they have lost it.
You are very right, because in fact this is one aspect of the spiritual quest that people underestimate. And in fact it's more than underestimate. Most people are not aware at all of the extreme difficulty of the next phase after enlightenment, after a first epiphany.
Yes.
Which people often call enlightenment.
Reawakening.
And many people have this fantasy that once you discover the truth about your true nature of oneness with the universe and all that, they were told, or they believed, or they told themselves that suddenly they will have the wisdom and life will become easy. There will be no more suffering, and they will become a teacher, and everybody will be drawn to them.
The beginning of the journey,
and so on and so forth. And they don't. Most of us have been misguided like that to think that after enlightenment life is easy and you become you can walk on water immediately and stuff like that. The reality is that it's still a very long journey towards mastery, and it's even more lonely because people actually already, when you are seeking intensely, people already think that you are not too smart, and they start distancing a little bit themselves from you, but not too much. They don't think you have totally lost your mind. But after an epiphany, it goes to another level, because now you are all excited.
Yes.
You know the truth, and it feels so obvious that everybody should stop whatever they are doing to listen to this and get interested in that. And when you talk of oneness and truth and love being the nature of everything, and that the world is an illusion or whatever, people at best they get concerned for you, and unfortunately very often they even can get aggressive and basically ostracize you.
Exactly.
And it becomes a very lonely world, with very few people on your side, if any. And this club, this is really my utmost vision and my utmost desire, I can say, that this club be a good, welcoming and nurturing place for those of us who are in that phase, which can last a few years. It's not a joke. People talk of the dark night of the soul. It's not just a night. It's years.
Many nights.
At best a few months, but for most of us it's been a few years, right? So if you are resonating with what we just said, know that there is a place where you will be understood and appreciated.
Yes.
And where people will be keen to listen to your experience, and they will understand what you're talking about, and they will have maybe something to contribute to make you avoid some pitfalls and transition more smoothly. It's never a smooth ride.
No.
Towards more complete integration of truth in your life, and to realign and rebalance yourself more fully into your true self.
So, yeah.
And we are really looking forward to hosting you here and sharing and supporting each other and having a good laugh also and studying some texts and bouncing ideas and challenging each other, also asking questions to each other. We are also going to do some events occasionally, gatherings where we will have a few most advanced of us, masters, realized masters, or academic masters in theology or in subjects like that, but also pastors, or also maybe Buddhist monks or swamis, or occasionally we will invite some a bit more known gurus to talk to us, but it will not be in the format of absolute reverence. We will be amongst enlightened souls who will be able to ask questions, but also to bounce back the questions. So we will have each time 4 or 5 people responding to the question and offering their own perspective of enlightened beings to each subject, and we are really colleagues and friends helping each other in the last, it's never the last, but in the more advanced portion of integration of self into one's being, so that that difficult transition phase can be lived with a little bit less sorrow. So that's the objective. It can sound not very ambitious, but those who know that this is very ambitious. And we are looking forward to including you in our next roundtables and meetings and study groups and exchange groups, and also sometimes just having a nice fun time together. Thank you very much for having watched till the end, and wait for more. Stay tuned.
Okay. So you can check underneath this video. You will see our website where you can get more information about the club, and of course about the activities that will be coming up very shortly. We will be glad to have you in our midst. Thank you. Vincent?
Thank you. Goodbye. Namaste. Sayonara. Hasta la vista, baby.
Bye. Hasta la vista.
Okay. What is goodbye in Yoruba?
Odabo.
Odabo.